Press, People for Rights, Equity, and Stability in Sri Lanka. The conflict in Sri Lanka, according to Time magazine, is among the most underreported issues of 2008. In the absence of media awareness, the recent escalation of violence has created a massive humanitarian crisis amongst the country's people. The number of internally displaced persons mounts at a staggering rate as the government pushes further in its war effort. According to the United Nations, some 315,000 people have been displaced due to fighting since August 2006, of which a third have been displaced since August 2007. Despite a UN request for the government to ensure international standards are met within refugee camps, government-run camps continue to function at extremely low standards. A quote from Amnesty International: "Civilians in the north and east faced immense hardship, with a significant number being killed in indiscriminate raids. Lack of transport links to Jaffna Peninsula affected food supplies to over 500,000 people. The only access road into the area remained closed, and civilians needed a military permit to enter and exit." Although international pressure led to the establishment of safe zones for the internally displaced by the Sri Lankan government, local health officials reported shelling of a village and makeshift hospitals by the Sri Lankan military. 30 have been killed and many wounded. Within the past month, the New York Times has reported that the Sri Lankan army has made at least 11 aerial attacks on or near hospitals. The number of IDPs has reached intolerable heights, and we must act. Canada has been providing aid to Sri Lanka for many years, yet none of this reaches the places of need. As Canadian taxpayers, we should demand that this aid be allocated in a fair and just way. The Sri Lankan government continually fails to provide its citizens with appropriate aid. We are left to question where the monetary support of foreign governments is being allocated. By maintaining our diplomatic and trade relations, we are sustaining their economy and supporting their war. Canada must hold Sri Lanka accountable. The internal displacement of civilians in Sri Lanka's north and east is an open violation of international humanitarian law. The Sri Lankan regime would not be able to prolong this war without our economic and diplomatic support. Canadian funds should not continue to aggravate the plight of the people. We must act. Join us. Email campaigns@presscanada.org to volunteer on our next campaign.